What's up, Bruins fans? Johnny Gammett here with Michael Steurer of the men's cross country and track teams. Michael, thank you so much for the time this morning. We appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
We obviously, with COVID going on and everything like that, it's been a crazy last couple of months, but we're going to talk a little bit about last season. Obviously, the men's cross country team with continued success, winning their fourth straight national championship. And you had a big part in that, earning All-American at the national championship meet. So just talk to me a little bit about, last year was your first year. You were a freshman coming in on the team last year. What was the experience like going from high school running and cross country to the collegiate stage?
It was actually a little bit different than I expected. College ended up being a lot more laid back than high school, ironically. And the transition actually went really well for me. I was a little bit nervous, just because it was something different than I'd really experienced. And I really enjoyed my college experience, like honestly a lot more than I did running in high school. The coach Bright is amazing. I love his coaching style and the way he works with us. And even I was nervous going up to a longer distance for college as opposed to what we did in high school. And even that was not as bad as I was expecting. So it all ended up being a really great first experience for me.
What was it like joining? I mean, it's different when you come into a team that's maybe, rebuilding or those kinds of things. You're coming into a team that has won a couple of different national championships in a row, has kind of a storied tradition now, and you found yourself pretty early on in the season being in really that number one position of being the guy that was going to go out and try to finish first and that kind of thing. So how were you able to come in and kind of accept that challenge right off the bat?
Initially, especially at the first couple of meets where I kind of kept coming in first, and that was really not what I had been expecting. It was a little bit of pressure because then I feel like, I really got to try to place well and kind of do it for the team, especially as we're getting closer to Nats, starting to get a little nervous. But I think as the season progressed, it kind of became more of I just would kind of go out there and run my hardest and really just whether I would, get first on the team or, beat a certain guy or something. I just kind of put it in God's hands. And the other nice thing was I had a lot of the guys on the team were kind of right behind me. So if I did have a bad day, they would be right there to back me up.
Yeah, absolutely. Coach talks about all the time this idea of building to nationals, and you could just see it over the course of the season last year. You guys were building and building and building, had a great regional championship meet here on campus, and then completing it at nationals. When you were running at the national championship meet, you guys are obviously leaving it all out on the course. It's the last race of the season, a little closer than in previous years in terms of our winning the national championship. And then you find out you're All-American. What's going through your mind at that point?
I did not expect to get All-American. I had hoped I would, but when I heard I had gotten it, I was kind of just, I don't know, I was really excited. It was really the first, I had won a state thing back in high school, but it was a much smaller scale. And so it was probably really the big first thing that I had won. So it was just really exciting feeling.
Absolutely. Now, you guys, obviously, a lot of programs do the cross country in the fall, and then a lot of athletes do track in the spring. And I know that this last spring was certainly one that was much different than any of us really expected. You going into your first track season, you guys are preparing, you're even running kind of a preliminary race to get going and those kinds of things, getting ready for the season, and all of a sudden it's yanked out from under you. So just take me through those days of what you guys were, you're working hard to prepare for the season, and all of a sudden it's gone. And then on top of that, it's the semester's gone too, and you're going home.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit surreal, especially for us because we had been all packed and ready to go to a meet, and then, we're about to leave and they say, don't go anywhere. So it was a bit of a letdown. But I think that our team is pretty close, all the guys on there, and we actually the day after we found out we weren't going to get to have any more meets, we all went and kind of held our own meet with just us guys and went and ran our events. So that was I mean, it was sad that we were gonna have a season, but it was nice to have that last thing, still kind of do some stuff, and we had a couple. It was sad for the couple. We had a couple seniors who were going to get a race again, um, but at least I think for most of us, we had at least another season or so to go. So we were kind of just in the mindset, well, we're going to go home, we're going to start training, and we'll just come back stronger next year.
As you guys, cross country is one of those things. It's not necessarily like basketball where you need a basket and a ball. Cross country and track is really training and doing a lot of it on your own, which I know you guys are all used to. But in this particular off season, how have you guys had to work to stay connected as a team and then be able to also push yourself in training and preparing for this fall?
It was been a little tough, especially to motivate yourself when you don't have these guys around you during the summer. So we stayed connected over like text and such, and we also had a running thing we do where we record our runs and we can share them with other people, and so we kind of keep ourselves accountable that way. And I know me personally, I got with one of the other guys, we kind of had a challenge going where we would keep ourselves accountable for running, set ourselves a goal for the end of the semester, whoever could reach a certain mark, just kind of challenge each other and compete against a little bit, but in that friendly competition. So that helps a lot. I definitely, a lot of my motivation from summer training came from that. And then, because it's hard when the season's so far off, like even if it's only a couple months, it's hard to think of it as a goal for that because you have no races, nothing that you're pushing towards. It's kind of more abstract. So to have those guys there to kind of talk to and be like, hey, did you run today? That's really helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. As you look back, personally, aside from the team, looking back at this whole COVID pandemic and everything from the last couple of months, what do you think is the biggest thing that you personally, that God has taught you, or that has, been something that you really thought about differently as a result of this worldwide pandemic?
I think a big thing that God has kind of showed me is it seemed like kind of a big kind of blow when all that started happening, whole COVID thing and all that. I think what he's kind of been showing me is that it can be a blessing in disguise, because there's actually been a lot of things just with my schedule and even in my life that because of everything that's happened have actually worked out to be a big blessing, stuff that I was worried about. So it's given me a higher level of trust. It's like even when stuff like this where like, okay, well, how could this be anything but terrible? You never know what God's going to do with it. Absolutely. And it could be like, you know what, that was actually really good. It helped me in something I would never have thought of.
Yeah, absolutely. As you guys look ahead, obviously the season as of this recording, we're planning to compete in a few events this fall. Mm-hmm. What gets you excited about being back here on campus with the team and looking ahead to the season that's upcoming?
I'm honestly just like really excited to run with my team and, my friends again. Like I ran this morning actually for the first time back in Greenville, and it was a really cool feeling, just being back. We got a lot of high prospects for the season. It's been 6 months or more since we've competed or done anything like that and trained together, and so it was a really cool feeling, just being back, being able to have these goals that are now close to reaching. I've been working toward it all summer, and now you can see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, we're looking forward to seeing you guys back on the course for cross country, hopefully going after that 5th national title in a row. Michael Steurer, again, thanks for the time this morning. We really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me.